Yes, so I'm not a designer, but I'm very interested in how we can use kind of design principles to make human-centered products. And one of the things I've been thinking a lot about is gamification.
Should be a clicker there as well.
Perfect. So often we think, what is gamification? And instantly we start thinking about like leaderboards, badges, all of that stuff we see on like apps like Duolingo. So we're kind of taking this approach. We're thinking, cool, if I build the game mechanics, I'm going to get the users. It's a sort of, if I build this, they will come approach. Of course, this is not good design thinking. Like, we actually really want to center our users and then build for them and build this kind of game mechanics around like their drives and their needs. So this is all great. Like, we spent some time, we made some personas, we thought about what our users were, but then how do we kind of connect that up to kind of game mechanics and what's going to work for them? And this is something I was struggling with a bit. And I found this super helpful book. I'm basically going to like rip a lot from this, so I recommend grab this book. This is going to be a taster of it, but it has a really useful framework for how we can think about different game mechanics and how they relate to different users, and you can take them, breaking them down by different personas, breaking them down by different stages in their journey, and it's a super awesome thing. So I'm going to go through some of these as much as I can in the short amount of time with some examples both from sort of Web 2 and then also Web 3 as well. So we've got this kind of epic meaning and calling drive, and this is sort of the drive that people do when they're doing something bigger than themselves. So people completing in Wikipedia, Giveth, and I would also just generally argue the kind of ethos in the space about building things that are censorship resistant, like not building for the kind of big tech conglomerates, is kind of tapping into this. And there's also, I think they had a case of it was Wise. They were helping gamify people build a traffic map and then tapping into you. It's not just for you, it's for everyone else in the community that you're building for. Accomplishments, this is pretty much your typical classic gamification. You've got your badges. So Duolingo, I think, definitely does this brilliantly. We've also seen like Zappa do a great job of this with the kind of quests. As you kind of level up, complete new things, your profile goes up. Creativity. This is actually called creativity and feedback. So it is kind of creativity in the traditional sense. Anything where you're able to be artistic and create would come under this. But it would also be also when you've got control over the game. So something like SimCity, every time you play it, it's different. You can have the joy of just playing the game. Even chess, whenever you play that, it's never the same game again. So it's always a joyous experience. I'm going to argue this is the one we probably actually touch on the least in Web3, actually. It's not as much there. But there's this example I've got from a project called Law. It's Make Law. They do like an AI story generation, and every time you can go, you can write a new sentence, and it generates a new beautiful image. So that was quite fun to do. Ownership. Well, we have a lot of this concept of actually owning tokens, owning NFTs. It's big in our space. But also even things like, being able to customize your experience to your needs is also coming under this one. Social influence. So, of course, Twitter, when we get that dopamine hit, when somebody's liked our post, that's really tapping into our need to get status amongst our peers. Social tokens, DAOs, there's a lot of this playing into the very human need to get appreciated. Scarcity, of course, getting the alien punk. It's very rare. Everyone wants to get that. People will do crazy things for that. We're seeing this used very effectively in the NFT space. Unpredictability. When you've got your NFT and you don't know what it's going to be, it's revealed. Price volatility, this is kind of endemic in the space. So that's also adding a level of unpredictability there as well. Loss and avoidance. So FOMO, whenever you ape into something because you really don't want to miss the upside of it. The project that we work on, we gamify the interest. So if you hit the savings, you get the interest. If you miss a deposit, you don't. So it's kind of driving you to make those savings deposits. And yeah, there's like lots more. So definitely check out the book, because you can also break it down in terms like how do they make these users feel. Some of these make users feel really good, and some of those make users feel very urgent to complete tasks. And some of them enjoyable, and some of them are more kind of, it's not enjoyable to get a badge, but you feel good when you've got a badge. So there's different things there. And if you want to dive into the kind of workshop, it is a great thing because we use this in our team retreat and we broke down our personas. We did a lot of brainstorming where we'd go through each of our personas on each part of the journey, mapping out all of the kind of game mechanics that could be possible. So just lots of Post-its everywhere. And then we could kind of pick that apart and kind of understand, like, okay, when do we want to make something, when are we going to kind of encourage that kind of white hat thinking, when are we going to reward our users, and how does it fit in with their kind of core drives and personas? Yeah, that's it. Just wanted to be super quick. Definitely recommend checking that out. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter as well. Thank you.